Red hot comic book movie news. Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. The Weekly Planet. The Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me, as always, my guy, Nick Mason.
Hey.
It was too normal, so I had to be like, whoa, I'm crazy also.
That was crazy too, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I have to be more normal?
Yeah, you got to be more normal.
Because I think when there's a duo, people require like a contrast, don't
Exactly.
they? So you've decided to be wild and crazy guy today.
That's right.
Now,
That's me.
normally I'm wild and crazy
It's
guy,
true.
so you're going to have to really ramp
Yeah.
it up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right, that's too far. If you could...
I'm leaning on my chair.
Damn, dude, that's dangerous. Stop it.
I actually do love leaning on my chair, legit. Clay's always like, stop leaning on your chair. You're going to fall over and bash your head. And I'm like, I haven't yet, have I, though?
Like in the kitchen.
Yeah, man.
No, I've been in that. That's dangerous,
I know,
man.
but I do it.
I'm calling the cops on you, man.
What? For what?
For being dangerous. You could crack your head.
I'm crazy.
So you take two
Yes,
legs of
sometimes.
the chair off the...
Sometimes, yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's from my school days.
Wow.
You know? Teachers were always like, don't lean on your chair. And I was like, fuck you. Like I said that under my breath,
Whoa.
you know?
James, I'm going to have to take wild and crazy guy from you today and take it back. Because my wild and
getting
crazy...
out of hand?
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. I've given you too much power. And I'm going to be a very sane and normal and sensible wild and crazy, all right?
Okay, all right. Like a responsible level.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Great.
Whoa, dudes.
Surfing after the show? You know,
Sensibly?
Maybe in a wave pool?
Wetsuit, life jacket, that little cable that attaches your leg to the board.
Yeah. Well, you always have the cable.
It's also a boogie board. It's not a surfboard.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Terrific. So this week we are going to talk about the live-action One Piece series.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, we've got a bunch of news, including some updates in terms of how Warner Brothers are doing in relation to profits and losses this year.
Interesting.
But, you know, they're looking at the writer strike and they're going, this is why we're not doing well. And, you know, we'll talk about it. Yeah. We're also going to talk about some stuff that's been cancelled over at Warner Brothers.
Uh-oh.
We're also going to get into a big Rotten Tomatoes scandal from this week.
That's
I don't know if
right.
you saw that.
Yeah.
It's not like so much specifically Rotten Tomatoes, but it's how it can be gamed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get right into that.
And who is to blame for all the bad scores that your favourite movies might be getting, for
That's
example?
right.
You know?
Exactly. We're also going to talk about who the top choice seems to be for Secret Wars.
What do you mean?
Like the director. Did I say that?
No, you
the
didn't say
director.
it.
Who's the top choice?
Top choice, yeah.
we're gonna-
For audience?
Yeah.
They're vetting the audience
That's
now.
right,
You're not allowed in. And you're going to pass a test. They're going to ask you a quiz.
Yep.
They're going to ask you a series of quiz questions about all the previous movies. And all you have to say is, they're great.
They're great.
Yeah.
I love them.
When you did your driving test,
Yeah.
was there like...
Do you like driving? It's great. I love it.
You've passed.
Perfect.
When I did it, they did like a little electronic thing where it's like a simulator.
Yeah, I did do
And
that,
you have-
yeah.
But the driving instructor was just like, just wait 2 seconds and push the button. They're all the same. Just wait 2 seconds and push the button.
Yeah, it was that, wasn't it? Yeah. Because it was also like early 2000s-ish, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
the touchscreen technology
Oh
was
my
not
God.
quite... It's not quite there,
Yeah.
was it? Yeah. I remember I
Don't drive directly into the truck. Just hit the brakes.
lost a bunch of points on the test.
Yeah.
Not like I got downgraded. I still passed.
Okay.
Because it started bucketing down and I came to a roundabout.
Oh, this is in real life.
This is in real life and I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Because it was all like the whole thing fogged up and I had to wait for it to unfog and I couldn't see any cars. And like, oh, you stopped unnecessarily.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck you. Like, are you serious?
Under your breath?
Yeah, I'm like, fuck you. But I passed, so I was like, whatever. Like, who cares? But yeah.
Whoa.
I think about that and I'm like, that's unfair. I was being what? Just drive out? I'm a maniac.
Yeah.
I'm a crazy... No, I'm not anymore, am I?
You're not allowed.
Yeah.
You
Anyways,
used up all your crazy points.
we're also...
I'm downgrading. So far, you're still going to pass.
Okay, cool.
But you've lost some points.
We're going to go... We've got names for every episode of What If coming up.
Oh, do we?
It's
okay.
Yeah, those have come out.
I saw a list maybe yesterday.
Yeah.
And they looked badly structured.
They
like
are yeah.
Okay, the titles look very badly structured. I'm like, this seems fake.
They might
but
just be
all right.
like ideas, I guess.
Placeholders,
maybe.
yeah.
Placeholders, yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about Taylor Swift again, the big show that's
I
happening.
love that.
the
Are
concert.
we
Right, yeah, we're pivoting.
we're pivoting to
Yeah.
Taylor Swift content?
It's incredibly popular.
The
so
Swifty
that's-
Planet?
That's where we go.
The
Trailers.
Swifty Planet's good because we can talk about Taylor Swift and also stealing things from stores.
Oh, yeah. That's big at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen like, in a lot of videos
There's
like
hot
that.
tips on
Yeah.
stealing.
Trailers for Gen V, a new Godzilla movie, and No One Can Save You. Another Pirates movie is maybe happening.
Ooh.
The Pirates of the Caribbean ones, and then One Piece, of course. Let's start off with this. There's time codes below. Collins, who edits this, he's happy enough to sort it, I assume.
For now.
For now, yeah. This is by Deadline. So Warner Brothers Discovery said on their Monday, September 5th meeting that the company is looking to lose approximately $300 to $500 million in EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Because you might be like, why? Is it because they've had a series of bombs?
I don't need to know.
No? Okay, this is for everybody else.
Okay.
Because Barbie did well.
Yes.
But then most of their other properties have bombed. Like Shazam bombed, The Flash bombed, Blue Beetle bombed, the movie Air, that one about the shoes. They're like, we're going to make this shoe for Michael Jordan or he'll kill us. It's that kind of tension in that movie.
Yeah.
It's really like high stakes, and it's like, it's just a shoe, relax.
And we know you made the shoe.
Yeah, you made it.
A lot of us are wearing that shoe currently. So
Yeah, that's right.
It's fine.
So
did they make the shoe? Hang on, I'll just look down. They did make the shoe.
They made at least,
I can leave.
yeah,
I can leave now.
They made at least 2.
Yeah, that's right.
So
They made 2 size 8s. And they didn't fit Michael Jordan, and he was bad.
So the suggestion was from David Zaslav,
Normal man.
Warner Brothers, that it's not to do with any of the properties. It was specifically the ongoing writers and actors strike is costing them money. That must hurt.
yeah.
I can only imagine.
I mean, it's not costing him money personally. He's
No, 'cause
making
he-
like 500. He's
the
making
last
about
3
that
years.
amount of money
Yeah,
in bonuses and so forth.
insane, right? So yeah,
In a lot of ways,
Yeah.
they could essentially eliminate that loss by not giving him his $200 million bonus or whatever it is. Like, that would cut out a huge chunk of that.
I think you might be
now
right.
Now you think about it.
It is weird how it doesn't work. Like if a studio does poorly, they're just like, "Here's your $100 million for the year."
Yeah.
That's wild. Like,
Yeah.
what job is it where like really bad stuff? Actually, here's more money.
Yeah, well, it's a kick in the can down the road situation. Isn't
isn't it?
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cut. Like, I don't want to get too deep into it, but the next quarter, will be, the quarterly report. It's like, well, we cut all these costs. Here's your money.
Yeah.
like it's whoever gets caught holding the bag in like 5 years.
Yeah.
when there's no more to cut and they're not making any
It's
money.
like whoever has to push through Brexit. You know what I mean? Kicking the can down the road.
That's right.
Until eventually, like, I can't believe this person botched Brexit or whatever. And it's like, this is all rotten, like through and through. Yeah. Anyway, enough Brexit talk, if you don't mind, Mason. I don't know why you brought that up. Let's move on to this in a segment of the show called Cancelled, more like Schmanceled, as in cancelled. Here's some things that were cancelled this week by Deadline.
Cancelled, more like schmantled as in cancelled. I
Yes.
like that. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's
okay.
good. That's catchy. We can put on a t-shirt.
Definitely. So
If you get cancelled, which is very common these days, you could buy the
Certainly,
t-shirt.
yeah.
So I think that's a little.
if you're in
little cash in our
celebrity
pocket.
jail,
Yeah,
like
or
one
real
of-
jail.
Real jail, you can wear it in there. Yeah, absolutely.
true.
They'd probably give you your own clothes, like different clothes. But yeah, if you're allowed to bring in your own t-shirt, you
Yeah,
can
that's
potentially
right.
wear that.
Yeah. Now, look, we do give you an orange prison jumpsuit, but you are allowed to wear your own t-shirts. You're allowed to pick a slogan t-shirt. You can reveal at opportune moments, for
Yeah,
example.
absolutely. Some people go with the better out than in. That's fun for
Sure.
prison.
Yeah. 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor.
That's a good one, yeah.
Kiss the chef, you could go with, for example. Where's the beef? That's
Yeah.
a classic.
Kiss the chef, as in the guy who learned to cook steak on a toilet or whatever.
That's right. Well, that's what it says on the back. But it says toilet chef man, but you can't tell because you're wearing the jump. Anyway, it's not important.
That's right, yeah. So anyways, this is by Deadline. Warner Brothers Television has moved in to suspend the remaining overall deals with some of its top creators.
Oh, no.
This is a cost-cutting measure, because I don't know if you know, because of this writer strike, they lost $500 million apparently.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how reliable the source was, but I heard about it.
So the list includes...
Some would say the source often doesn't know what numbers are.
Sure, yeah.
Or what they mean.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Unreliable.
Yeah. A complete, skewed concept of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I can see how you'd think that. The list includes Greg Berlanti Productions, who started the CW stuff.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Bill Lawrence's Doozer Productions. He's responsible
Scrubs.
Scrubs and that new one. Oh, he did
Extra Scrubs.
Extra Scrubs. He
Double
did,
Scrubs.
he did Ted Lasso, but he did Shrinking as well, I think.
Oh. Which one was Shrinking?
The one where Harrison Ford's like, I'm a gruff psychologist.
that's right.
Jason Spateman, whatever Jason you are.
Jason Spateman. That's
I'm,
right.
I'm a rough psychologist. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Jason Segel.
Thank you.
I think, yes.
Yeah. Mindy Kaling's Kaling International. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is also in the process of being notified, apparently. What are they even
In
doing?
the process.
It's weird because, I thought about...
They can't cancel my deal if they can't find me, J.J. Abrams.
I've been trying to... I was doing some, not intentionally, but just some rough research in a document about what he's been doing since Star Wars.
Because he's gotten numerous very large deals.
Yeah, and things that were in place before that.
Yeah.
It's like, which of the, what do you, and he did that Spider-Man comic with his son for a minute.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And is he laying low? Like, I don't know. This is even before the strikes. Like, what is he up to? I think he really got, like, hurt from what happened in the last Star Wars.
Like emotionally?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Or do you mean like reputationally?
I think that, and also I think it like, I mean, if you release that and then that was the response, like even if you were proud of it, you'd be like, oh, I fucked up here, didn't I? You know, because I remember I saw an interview beforehand that was like, we spent a long time trying to figure out how we're going to crack this, and I think we've nailed it. I think we've actually nailed this ending.
Yeah,
and just like, it's just not that at all.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
so that would sting, you know?
And I guess to a certain extent, it was a case of a lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi, so let's do a course correction.
Oh yeah, it's not even just him. That's not, and he came in so late. Like,
well, that's
so
true.
late in the day.
And I think probably, I mean, you're probably right, but I imagine the situation was, well, okay, this is massive damage control, and you've got to do this and this and this, and you've got to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And I guess to some extent he probably went, well, it's a tough call, but I know what I'm doing, and I think I can stick the landing on this.
Yeah,
because everyone hated it.
Yeah, because he did, like, for The Force Awakens. I know people, like, we've talked about it, but, like, it did what it was supposed to do. A lot of people saw it and liked it.
Yeah,
And I'm not talking like, it's just like the other. I know all that, but people, if you ask a normal person, they're like, yeah, it was fun or whatever.
Yeah.
You ask
the
a
Millennium Falcon. Remember they found the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, he brought it back. Like, he really did. And it made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Which is also because it's Star Wars. But anyway, John Wells production. So he was
He
suspended
makes Wells
in June. He
for
makes
Warner
Wells.
Brothers.
Yeah, weird. I don't know why, but he should
They're
make
funneling
water
all the-
towers.
Yeah.
Should he
Oh.
not? Maybe they're connected. Maybe it's the source of the water in the tower.
Yeah.
I don't know. He did like ER and stuff, I believe, and like the West Wing, I think.
Anything in the present day?
Great question. Let's have a look.
Okay.
He also might not be any of that. I might have just imagined.
We might uncover something. We might, uncover a big deal here.
Oh, John Wells, our story. No thanks. I'll just go to the Wikipedia. Here we go. Early life, etc.
Boring.
He's 67. He looks like a guy who reads Tom Clancy novels.
Nice.
So he did this show called Trinity. He did Third Watch. He did The West Wing, obviously. Southland, people like that maybe.
Okay.
Animal Kingdom, there you go.
Oh, the TV series. Okay.
Shameless. I should watch Shameless. People like
Okay,
Shameless,
all right.
don't they?
Yes, they do.
The Company Men.
Don't know what that is.
These are films. August Osage County.
I know the name, but I've never seen it.
Love and Mercy.
No.
Burnt. Remember where Bradley Cooper's like,
this is my Vanity Project chef thing.
I'm an important chef.
We're both doing
We're
both doing shaking a pan of some sort.
Onions, probably.
Mine had eggs in it for some reason.
Why are you shaking eggs?
I don't know, man.
Mine was sauteing onions.
Okay. Well, I was sauteing eggs.
But no,
We learned that from the bear.
Yeah, that's right. As of late, he was executive producer on Doom Annihilation. That was in 2019, so that was the last kind of movie thing. And
That one that looks like a fan film.
on Maid, Maid was apparently really good. Like a really like harrowing. Yeah, Claire really likes Maid. And there's something that was that's TBD called Key New Road.
Okay.
I don't know what
Right.
that is. So
Well, I recognize some of those.
yeah,
Like certainly.
yeah, these are like a lot of
Yeah.
these are huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, suspended.
Oh, good luck, idiot.
Chuck Lorre's production deal was
Chuck Lorre?
Lorre, sorry.
Okay.
Was,
The 2.5 Men guy.
Yes, was
Yeah.
suspended in the first wave in May. So there were waves of this that happened. So wait, what May? Did they strike in May? I don't. It's been maybe.
It's been
28, 25? I don't know. As long as we're having a good time, which we are.
I think we are.
On this show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
This is
We're having a wild and crazy time.
It is
Steady on them.
not me though.
All your chair legs on the ground. All of them.
I'm on one leg now.
Oh, come on,
It's the most-
mate.
even I
Actually,
don't-
that's you're defying the laws of physics there, aren't I?
Even I don't like this.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still like, I mean, there was updates about the writer's strike and the actor's strike this week, but it's just not happening at the moment. It's still like there were interviews from various studio heads that are just like, we hope that it's fair for everybody and whatever. And
Sure.
it's completely
We're
stalled.
willing to do anything except pay people. So
If you've got any other suggestions though, we're open. Yeah.
maybe a foosball table in the break room.
Oh, yeah.
We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And all the hundreds of writers can share it.
Yeah. Maybe some bean bags.
Oh, beanbag.
Imagine being at work, but you're on your laptop and you're in a bean bag.
Oh, my God.
Maybe you're on one of those chairs that's like an egg, like hung from the roof, like half an egg.
Egg
you can
chair
sit
hung
in.
from the roof?
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
The perfect office conditions. I got friends who work in like those kind of spaces, and a lot of like corporate gigs do that, like banks and accounting firms and whatever. And like roving desks, and they're like, it's a fucking nightmare.
Sounds
because
that
like
way.
you don't know where you're gonna sit. You gotta book every room. You don't have like a place to like put all your stuff.
And if they rotate your desk all the time, you can't put your little bobbleheads
exactly,
anywhere, you know?
what are you gonna put it out and put it there every day? You'd forget it one day to be gone.
Yeah.
Someone put it in the toilet. Yeah. Anyway.
What, to cook a steak on it?
Presumably.
Well,
That's the fuel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, more Rotten Tomatoes, mo problems. That's what I say.
that's correct, isn't it?
I botched that, but you know, you get the idea. Now, there was a big Rotten Tomatoes scandal this week, and
That's right.
this was uncovered by Vulture in an article titled "The Decomposition of Rotten Tomatoes."
Ooh.
Now, they're making the claim that Bunker 15, which is a PR firm I've never heard of, have been deliberately manipulating the Rotten Tomatoes scores for multiple movies. The one they're talking about specifically was a 2018 Hamlet retelling starring Daisy Ridley called Ophelia. I've never heard of this.
I remember it. I remember the release of it, but
I remember the stellar reception it got.
Yes.
Of 62%.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about how it got there.
Yeah.
So what basically they've been doing, allegedly, is in response to the most negative criticisms of this film in particular, Bunker 15 allegedly
I like allegedly. I like allegedly.
I like
Let's
it
use
too.
that.
Yeah. Contacted a number of self-published critics months later and offered them, a month after it premiered at like Cannes or whatever, and offered them upwards of $50 to watch and review Ophelia.
More input from different critics is
Exactly.
what they're
That's
after,
how they
you know?
framed it. They didn't say, here's $50 and say nice things, but that was basically it. In October of that year, an employee of the company emailed a prospective reviewer about Ophelia and said, it's a Sundance film, and the feeling is that it's been treated a bit harshly by some critics. I'm sure sky-high expectations were the culprit, no doubt. That's probably
Absolutely,
it.
yeah.
So the teams involved feel like it would benefit from more input, as you said, from different critics, yeah.
The Bunker 15 employee asked about this, said, of course, journalists are free to write whatever they like, but that super nice ones often agreed not to publish bad reviews on their usual websites, but to instead quarantine them on a smaller blog that Rotten Tomatoes never sees. I think it's a cool thing to do.
That is cool.
So the
It's
idea,
indie, it's underground.
Yeah. So the idea being is if you normally write for a certain publication and you would have said that this movie was bad, instead you start a new blog on Tumblr or something where you put the reviews of stuff you don't like that gets no traffic.
Perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect.
It's got zero SEO.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently as a result of this, it was originally because you know a lot of movies do live and die by that rotten score. Like that is.
I mean, supposedly or allegedly. There's never been
yeah.
any really extensive research.
I mean, I'm sure
right?
there would have been, right? But I don't know. I think a lot of it is. I mean, it's a number of things. It's marketing. It's who's in it. It's it depends on what it costs to make. You know, it's a number of things.
Whether they're ads on buses.
Yes, that's right.
So forth.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Now, it climbed, though, Ophelia to 62%, flipping from
fresh.
rotten to fresh, yeah. And the next month, the distributor IFC Films announced that it had acquired the rights to release it in the US. So what that also did was basically give that movie
enough juice
to get distribution, and which maybe, and I haven't seen it, maybe it's an amazing movie and fully worthy of the 62% that it received.
That's right.
That's
exactly
that
right.
it might not have happened like that. So if you look at the box office, even I'm just looking at the box office here, it made $242,000. So I don't think any of this really worked anyway.
No.
But yeah, that's fascinating. So Bunker 15 founder Daniel Harler, he came out swinging. He said, "Wow, you are really reaching there."
But he's swinging.
Yeah.
Wow. You're really reaching there, and if you reach too far and I punch you, that's actually your fault because I'm just standing here punching. So I'm not punching you. You're reaching in front of my punches.
We have thousands of writers in our distribution list. A small handful have set up the specific system where filmmakers can sponsor or pay to have them review a film. Vulture also reached out to Rotten Tomatoes, and since then the website has delisted a handful of Bunker 15's movies, including Ophelia. Rotten Tomatoes says it prohibits reviewing based on a financial incentive. I mean, we talk about this every time there's a premiere.
Yeah.
And it's like almost exclusively, it's like this, and it's also comic book movies mostly. But it's like this has changed the game. This is the best since The Dark Knight. Marvel's done it again.
Yeah.
You know, if you love the MCU, they're back on. It's like that.
Yeah.
Literally. But that is that's a response to, I think, people going to the premiere and they get a photo with The Rock and whatever.
Yeah,
but then I think
absolutely.
as a result of that, then after those social media reactions and the reviews come out, and then I feel like that's for fairly accurate reflection a lot of the time.
Sure, yeah. Mhm.
But I mean, we all look at it. I mean, if you listen to this, you probably look at it.
Yeah.
I assume, like, we use it.
I think, like, James, first of all, we're above it all, as you know.
We see the whole
But
plan.
I think we look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, and I think
We look at the user reviews.
that's exactly right.
Psychos.
But I think it's like the interesting thing I think about the critics' reviews versus the user reviews. I think it's pretty apparent generally if it has a really low critic score and quite a high user score.
Yeah.
You can divine the real, like the.
Batman, Superman.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's the idea of like, okay, well, obviously it's fans who are super hyped to see a certain thing. Like, it's very much a franchise thing, and they are there to have fun, and it's often they're the super enthusiastic people who go opening day or what have you, and then the critics. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what I liked about this article is there were a bunch of, like, I think interesting quotes about it.
Okay.
One was from Martin Scorsese. It says about Rotten Tomatoes, it reduces the director to a content manufacturer and the viewer to an unadventurous consumer. And then Brett Ratner says, it's the destruction of our business. Now, Brett Ratner, is Rotten Tomatoes the destruction of your business? Or is it the fact that when you go to your Wikipedia page, there's a whole tab that says sexual assault allegations? Which one could it be?
You think maybe the thing that's collapsing the industry that is Brett Ratner for Brett Ratner is the time that he would go to a buffet on a film set and he'd put his hands down the front of his pants and then, like, touch all the shrimp?
It might be that,
Which is the thing that he did allegedly.
Yeah, it might be that. Might be him outing actors or whatever.
Yeah,
as gay.
okay,
It might be those things, just as a funny joke.
Yeah.
Brett Ratner. Maybe it's that.
Maybe it's all the terrible movies he's made. Also,
It might be the terrible movies he made. There was one here from Paul. There's a couple here from Paul Schrader.
Okay.
Who is a somewhat controversial filmmaker, but I think generally he's a
What's
guy.
he made?
Well, he wrote Taxi Driver.
All right.
And he directed a bunch of sort of Taxi Driver-esque movies. He directed the Card Counter, which was that.
Oh, I gotta watch the Card Counter.
Yeah.
Master Gardener.
Yeah.
American Gigolo 1980. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know this guy.
So Schrader said, the studios didn't invent Rotten Tomatoes and most of them don't like it, but the system is broken. Audiences are dumber. Normal people don't go through reviews like they used to. Rotten Tomatoes is something the studios can game, so they do. Yeah, I remember when Rotten Tomatoes first became a thing.
Yeah.
I would go to the page and I would look at all the good and bad reviews and I would click through and read them.
Yes.
But I don't do that anymore.
No,
you know?
I mean, I do. I skim quotes.
Yeah. But there's another Schrader quote in here somewhere. I'll find it.
Here we go. Also, Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Flickstar, which was acquired by Warner Brothers in 2011.
It used to be Fandango.
Yeah. So it's a parent. Yeah. So, and now Comcast own it, maybe?
Right. Great.
No, Warner Brothers retained a minority stake. Okay. So, yeah, it's also owned by a bunch of these. Yeah. Anyway, I like it. I think it's cool when you go there.
It's cool.
Yeah.
God, I'm going to find... Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to find it.
Okay, 1 second's up.
Oh,
already.
come on, mate. Come on, mate.
Just frying up these onions while I'm waiting. You can cut this out, Collings. I'm flipping them.
Oh, here it is. So this is from Schrader again.
Okay.
It says, I read some reviews of my own films where the writer might say that he doesn't think that I pull something off, but boy, is it interesting in the way that I don't pull it off. Said Schrader, a formal critic, which he was. To me, that's a good review, but it would count as a negative on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
And I think we try to do that. We love a big swing, and we like the idea that we might go, I didn't like this movie, but there was a great scene, or there was a great performance by this guy, or what a great line, or a great joke, or like what action sequence was good. It's
or
worth
like
it
this,
for that.
this isn't for me, but I can see how this would totally work for somebody else.
But it's interesting. If I remember correctly, don't Rotten Tomatoes contributors get to decide if their review is fresh or rotten?
Yeah, you do put that in.
You flick a switch,
It's basically
basically.
like a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Like a thumbs up, thumbs down situation. But isn't that just the economy, the gig economy we live in or whatever?
Isn't it though?
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yes,
Anyway,
it is.
It is, yeah. I mean, look, the way that I always judge a movie before I see it.
You always judge a movie.
I always
before
judge a
you
movie
see
before I
it?
see it, and I stick to that opinion. Is that there are people that I follow, and I often also I don't even do this anymore. I would say because I don't read reviews before I watch a movie.
Yeah,
now, 'cause
right.
that will influence me. But what I would do if I'm not going to see something or
Yeah.
I don't need to immediately review it, I'll just go to those people. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
well, I know what they like and I know what I like. And
Yeah.
we're not always on the same page, but at least I know specifically what they're
That's
talking
true,
about.
yeah.
That's
There's,
what I think if you're looking for like an idea of what to go into, and, you know, people that it's expensive.
It
so,
is,
you should, then that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea as well. You pick some reviewers that it's not even that they necessarily agree with you or your taste is the same. It's that they give you enough information to know whether you will like the movie or not.
Yeah.
There's a reviewer, I think he's on Uprocks. He's called Vince Mancini.
Yes.
And I will read his reviews, and oftentimes I disagree with his opinion of the movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like he always gives the amount of information I need to be like, oh, this will be perfect for me kind of thing.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah. Like Commode and Mayo, I watch, and I'll often watch them now after, I'll review something. He also does a podcast with Jack Howard as well, who I really like as well, his reviews. So yeah, there's a number of people, but people just have a root around.
Have a root around.
Yeah.
Find your own Commode and Mayo.
Exactly. Also, a lot of the stuff that I watch the reviews of much later, where it can be broken down 6 months to a year later and go, oh yeah, that's interesting. I should have thought of that when I reviewed it.
I'll take that and pass it off as my own opinion. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Upon some reflection, I've thought this, and by the reflection, I mean I listen to Commode and Mayo.
Good times.
Also, Commode and Mayo makes me think of eating mayo on the toilet.
Sure.
I think that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. It's the perfect situation to watch a movie.
Eating jail-made mayonnaise on the toilet.
That's correct.
So this is via My Time to Shine Hello, who says, sources confirmed that
This is your current favourite.
This is what's coming up.
Yeah.
He's doing, he, she, they, I don't know who this is. It's doing some big scoops.
Your favourite rat.
That's right. Confirmed that Sam Raimi is Marvel's top choice to direct Secret Wars. Now, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Spider-Man movies he made. I know a lot of people don't think this, but I think his Doctor Strange movie is really good.
I think so too.
It's a lot of fun, and it's fun because and it's not all him, because there's the other things you have to do, but there is a lot of him in it, and you don't often get that.
That's true.
In comic book movies or blockbusters in general. Like you see it, there's a moment where he's got a cape of ghouls.
That's true, yeah.
There's good stuff in that movie. I think it's probably the strongest movie that there has been in this new
whatever phase we're in currently.
Slate, whatever we're in.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion.
Ooh.
In this humble critic's opinion.
Wow,
that's it.
you mean Commode and Mayo's opinion?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It's been exactly 6 months, James.
What do you think, though?
I think that's a pretty good choice, yeah.
He could do a weird thing as well, Yeah. He'll do, and Secret Wars is it can be weird and twisted and broken and multi-dimensional and whatever.
And also who else they got, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Who else is left?
No
who isn't exhausted?
Who else haven't they burnt out?
Yeah.
Because you need someone who isn't burnt out. But so, yeah, because there's I'm trying to think, there's a very specific kind of director you need. And you can't go too young, because then you'll just walk all over them and then it's nothing.
Yeah.
But a lot of veteran directors don't want to do it because of what they are.
Yeah.
So Sam Raimi's he's one of the few that you could go to and he could probably do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think that he probably has had that lifelong passion for making that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he did, obviously he couldn't get a superhero movie in back in the day, so he made Darkman, which was sort of his audition for the Spider-Man movies, and then he made the ones that are generally very well received. He got burnt by Spider-Man 3, but then I think he's probably he's someone who probably still wants to make that sort of stuff, but he wants to do it on his own terms.
Yes.
And he's got enough Hollywood juice.
Yeah.
A term we've invented, I think. Toilet water. That he can probably be like, I'm only in if you let me do a certain amount. And I'm sure even during...
A ghoul cape.
Yeah. And I'm sure during the process, they're constantly pushing back.
Definitely.
As well.
And this person has to be in it because they got a glove in the previous movie or whatever, Or this person has to look like this because they're Captain America now or whatever,
Sure.
Whatever. But yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, all the
stuff. But he would have had to do that with Spider-Man and everything else, that he's made that's a property. There you go. All right. This is by the Nerd Rage podcast. Here are the potential titles for the What If series, which is maybe coming out this year. I don't know.
Great, I love this.
First one is What If Gamora Killed Thanos?
Ooh! When, though? Right at the end? About the same.
Yeah. I'm assuming when she stabbed him in nowhere, but she actually got him.
Oh, sure.
I don't know that.
Or maybe when she was a kid.
Maybe when she was a kid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What if Captain Carter finds Hydra Stomper? Now that's continued from season 1.
See, that's where it immediately lost me, these titles. What if Captain Carter found Hydra Stomper? I don't know, man.
Pretty wild.
You mean the little robot thing that Steve Rogers
I'm
pilots?
assuming he's still in it.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's the Winter Soldier, basically. They're doing the Winter Soldier, but Steve Rogers is
the Winter Soldier.
I guess.
Okay, right.
I don't know
Okay.
though. Yeah. What if the Tesseract landed in? I'm gonna butcher this. Haudenosaunee Confederacy.
That is the Native American episode, which is going to have a new superhero.
Yes, Kahori is the name. Yeah, so that's gonna. Yeah, so instead of landing in a Norwegian village or whatever it went, it goes to here. Yeah. What if Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne fought the Red Guardian during the 80s? Great title.
Great title. Really spells it out. Give us something, but really
Also, like,
spoil everything there.
I feel like that.
I don't know. Maybe they'd win or he'd win, or they'd be a stalemate, or they'd team up. I don't know.
Don't you think?
Maybe it did happen in the
exactly
regular
what I was
Marvel
maybe it
universe.
did happen.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they were all around then.
It should just start with a black screen title card that says, "To be clear, this didn't happen in the regular Marvel universe. Could have, but it didn't." You might look at this and be like, "Is this just a regular? Is this the thing that happened?" No, it didn't. It didn't. We're saying, what if it did? What if it did, though?
What if it did, though? Yeah.
Have you seen that deleted scene where I think it's from Ant-Man and the Wasp, so the second one.
Yeah.
And it's Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, and they're in, like, Colombia, and there's, like,
No.
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Sort
What
of-
are they, when
sort
they're
of on
young?
Twitter. Yeah, when they're young. They're de-aged. It's a whole scene.
Are they actually de-aged
Yeah,
for it?
yeah, they've
I've
like
probably
finished
seen it.
It
but
must be on the Blu-ray or something, but I have only seen it on the Twitters.
Do I have to buy the Bluray?
No, you can find it on the
I'm
Twitters.
rushing out now, Mason.
James, no.
I'm being reckless.
James, no.
I'm running too fast.
Why are you carrying those pairs of scissors? Stop it. James, no. A responsible wild and crazy guy wouldn't do that. Here, I've got an instruction manual on being the cool, loose cannon, wild and crazy guy. I've got all the guidelines here.
What about this one?
Read it and answer the quiz. And if you get it correctly, you'll be a licensed wild and crazy guy.
What if Yondu delivered Star-Lord to Ego?
Okay.
Did we get that?
I feel like that's one we already got.
We got T'Challa.
Yes.
Was Star-Lord and Peter Quill worked at a restaurant or something. And then he turned up. Ego turned up and went, "You're my son," or whatever.
That's a great title, by the
But
way.
I guess that's not this continuity.
Yeah.
What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? Iron Man 3, apparently related.
Okay, so that's...
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. What if Wanda had grown up watching musicals instead of sitcoms?
Oh.
So slightly different, I reckon.
And when you say grow up, you mean they were trapped in that apartment while all the bombings were
All the bombing was happening, yeah, exactly. What if Odin and Hela had faced Wenwu, who's...
The Mandarin?
The Mandarin?
Okay, sure.
All right,
great.
If you want.
Yeah, sure.
I suspect it would go like that Red Guardian thing where maybe one wins or the other wins or they team up.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And the last one is, what if the Avengers had fought Surtur,
Okay.
which Thor did? I mean, they'd win handily, I'd imagine, because he did it by himself.
Did he?
Surtur, he beat him the first time, remember? He, trapped him in the...
Yeah, but he didn't defeat him, though.
Yes, he did. He got his helmet off. He took it off.
Oh, yeah.
And then they let him out at the end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
you're right. Mhm. Pretty good.
But it'd probably go a bit differently than that.
I reckon.
Anyway.
They probably beat him or he'd beat them.
Yeah.
Or they'd team up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe
To lay waste to the earth.
maybe these aren't real. I feel like they are, though. There's been some images that kind of tie into this
Okay,
stuff and maybe
sure.
someone extrapolated.
Maybe.
So, that's fine. Just a bit of...
Maybe they saw you know what? Maybe they saw some thumbnails.
Maybe they
were
did.
preview thumbnails and they went, oh, what if Captain Carter found Hydra Stomper?
Yeah.
Because she's looking at the Hydra Stomper in the ice or whatever. She's like, oh.
There he is.
Oh.
There he is.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Are we going to reveal what those tentacles were? Or was that
Was
Doctor
it a stream of
Strange?
Gormath or was it a Doctor Strange thing?
Or was it Ultron
God,
with tentacles?
I don't want to think about it.
Well, too bad. We're in too deep now. We can't quit.
You're right. It's my THR. Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour. I wrote Ears Tour, which it might be, is happening. They filmed it in August.
Speaking of an ears tour.
Thank you, August
We're going to
or-
talk about that later in One Piece.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a
we
little
are
ears
too.
tour, isn't there?
There's an Ears Tour. Sources tell a Hollywood Reporter they believe the film could open up to a record $100 million based on brisk advanced sales tickets. That's just in the US. But they're also not ruling out that the movie ultimately would gross $150 million or more domestically.
It's pretty good.
So that would bring it in line with Mario and Barbie for openings.
Yeah.
I think there could be a chance that this will like you get all the Taylor Swift fans, and it's like a huge opening and then a big drop off, maybe.
Sure, because
But,
everybody sees it opening weekend.
but I don't
maybe
know.
they come back repeatedly.
Yeah, this is not an audience that I know.
That's
so I
true,
don't
yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there were people being like, Barbie's going to burn out straight away. And
Yeah.
after seeing it, I was like, I don't think so.
I'm a
Like,
little bit concerned
yeah.
that we've made some assumptions about the Swifties, and saying them out loud is going to bring their wrath upon us. Like you,
We're being kind.
Like you saying there, well, it'll probably be a drop off. James, no, don't say that.
It'll probably be a roaring success no matter what happens.
That's right, forever, forever.
Yeah.
Make $1 billion a week, and she'll never die.
God, that is just money for old rope, though. I mean, I know there is a lot to going into filming a production like this, obviously, but like,
But not $1 billion. Like, you know, it's,
Yeah.
you know.
I love it. Yeah, good on him. Trailers ahoy. We got one for Gen V.
We did, that's
which
true.
is What If the Boys, but it's school.
That's right.
What if the
School
boys-
for boys.
Yeah, but not exclusively.
No, also others.
Mostly people who shoot lasers and whatever, blood
Yeah.
powers and mind reading, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. One's an ant woman.
How many soups are there in the boys universe?
I don't know. I think they make a bunch and a lot of them die or they kill them.
yeah.
And then some of them get through to school, I guess.
Yeah, right. Because the reveal in the show is essentially that the company Voight.
Yeah.
Voight?
Voig.
Voig.
John Voig.
John Voig. Vought. There we
Vought,
go.
yeah.
That they sort of altered the DNA of a bunch of
Yeah.
pregnant women's fetuses, and then they
And they'll often then give them back, like, to families. And so, or they'll just keep them in a lab, which will
yeah,
leave
yeah,
at
yeah.
Homeland or whatever.
But
yeah.
this seems to be a later generation than the generation that produced like Starlight and
Yes.
and A-Train and so
Yeah.
forth. So I guess they did it for a couple of generations. So is this the last generation? Because if they've built this,
And we've seen babies.
yeah. So
You know,
if
they
they've
got-
built this institution, then clearly they're like, there's going to be enough generations of this that they have to find a way to like train them and contain them and and that sort of thing. So
Absolutely. Yeah. It looks like it could be good. Yeah, it comes out end of this month, I want
they're
to say.
doing bad stuff to these kids.
Yeah, sometimes they
They're
are.
like, we thought we'd be going here and learning how to use our laser vision
We'd
for
have like
good.
a Professor X guy or whatever, you know, but it's probably all like a corporation situation.
There also is there a Professor X style guy?
There probably is, but I don't know which one it
Yeah.
is. I think if there was, it would be like a guy pretending to be that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Who's not.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think if they are going for like a
mentor figure that's really just
like a
corporate.
school for gifted mutants
Yeah.
kind of thing, you would think that if they're going to do the satire of that, they would have a charismatic leader who is like that.
Yeah.
But I guess they've used that, like Giancarlo Esposito is kind of, you know how they always wanted him to
yeah.
be Professor X?
Yeah, okay.
He's always being fan cast as Professor X.
he still could be, I
Still
feel.
could be, yeah.
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 Also, apparently, didn't he mention he spoke to James Gunn about a role or something?
maybe.
We talked about that last week in the DCU. So someone's got to step up. I don't know who's going to be. Maybe we can get him on the show. We'll poach him. We'll have him.
You
Get him
think?
for this? Yeah. We'll get him away. From Marvel and DC.
Right. Oh, as a host.
Yeah, he can come in with us.
Okay, that sounds really good.
Yeah. He would love that, I think.
Yeah, he seems like way more of a laid back kind of dude.
He seems really
than every role that he's been sort of.
where he's a complete psycho.
Yeah, absolutely. Where he's like this cool, calculated,
Button-down
calm
psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has sort of reached that point where all the fan casts are just what's his character's name in Breaking Bad? Mr. Chicken.
Mr. Chicken, yeah.
Mr. Chicken. They're all like, hey, we should cast you as a Mr. Chicken guy. But I think his range seems to be a lot greater than that.
I agree. Yeah.
He's Mr. Chicken. He's in one of the
He's in The Mandalorian.
He's in The Mandalorian, where he's a sort of a Mr. Chicken guy.
Yeah, he's a Mr. Chicken guy.
He's in one of the Far Cry games where he's a real Mr. Chicken guy.
He's a Mr. Chicken
He's a Mr. Chicken who's a sort of a dictator of a country.
Yeah, okay.
With Mr. Chicken vibes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does do that Mr. Chicken guy.
But I think he does it very well. But I think there's more to him, and
I
I'd like to
completely
see
agree.
that.
Yeah. There's also a trailer for Godzilla Minus One, which is a Japanese reboot of the franchise.
Yeah, and it's set post World War II.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
looks incredible.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, the special effects are really, I don't know what the visceral, tactile, good. Like it feels like there is a practicality to them, and I don't even know whether that's true.
Yeah,
But it just feels like a suit stomping monster. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Maybe
know what
it
they've
is,
done
yeah.
yet.
Well, I don't know either. Looks good though. Yeah, no, it's sort of they. I mean, I know very little about Godzilla. The Japanese versions of Godzilla. I know
But if you know Godzilla,
Yeah.
go on.
Well, but I mean, I certainly know Godzilla 1998 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I
go
certainly
on.
know that version.
Yeah.
Remember, they couldn't Pronounce that guy's name?
The Totopoulos.
Yeah, that's the one.
Remember the bit where they go, that's a lot of fish.
Yeah.
And it was.
It was a lot of fish. Anyway, I don't know a lot about Japanese Godzilla, but I guess it seems to be they're sort of reverting him back to being
a monster
and a villain. And it's like the very early ones where he is the threat to humanity as opposed to the savior. And maybe this is a series where maybe this is a one-off. Maybe this is a series where he'll evolve back into being the hero again. Or maybe in this he's just misunderstood.
Maybe he is. Yeah. It seems as if also, because we've got some Monarch Legacy of Monsters stuff this week, like some more information and images. That's the Apple series, which is set in the universe we talked about a few weeks back with Kurt Russell and his son, Kurt Russell, who play the same character called Kurt Russell, where I think, because we're recording this a bit early, there might have been a trailer for that at this point.
I see.
I don't know. But anyway.
But I'd say it's probably cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And the last trailer I want to talk about is called No One Will Save You.
Now, the only reason I wanted to bring this up, this is a horror movie.
It looks good.
It does look good, and it's sort of it's a period piece. It seems to be set in the 50s or 60s.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
And it's like a home invasion, but spoiler alert, it seems to be like Little Green.
It's E.T.
It's an E.T. style
it's got
situation.
Caitlin Dever, who I think is great.
But the only reason I wanted to bring this up is because if you go to YouTube and you search for No One Will Save You, there's a couple of different thumbnails. One is a sort of a generic one.
Yeah.
And one is like a clickbait thumbnail a la a Mr. Sunday Movies.
Hells yeah.
Where it's like, it's got a picture of the alien you see at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
Which is a sort of a big spin. It's like a little green man, but he's got big
spindly
legs and he's threatening. And it's got a big circle around it and a red arrow. And it's like, oh, look at this. Are you seeing it?
It's not coming up.
Really?
I've got this, I've got one that just shows the monster.
Maybe they've changed it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they've sneakily changed it, a la Mr. Sunday Movies.
I would do that, and I have done that, and I will continue to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm really not seeing it.
They've gotten rid of it. Those dogs.
Maybe that's why.
I'll find it for you. I'll find it using technology.
Did you say it was Nando V Movies who mentioned it?
Yeah, I saw it from a friend of the show, Nando V Movies, who was like, look at this, look what they've done. But at the same time, I probably would not have clicked unless I'd...
I did click because I had faith in it.
Oh, yeah.
It does feel a bit Cloverfield as well. Some people are like, is this a Cloverfield movie? And the answer is maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only PG-13. Boo.
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 We're about to see that lady's face get torn off.
Yeah.
Boo. Boo.
Boo.
Boo. Well, it's gone. It worked.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about it, aren't we?
We certainly are. Yeah. All right. Should we move it along then? Anyway, it looks good. It comes out. That's right. I was trying to find the date of it. It comes out September. And it's on Hulu. So even better. Great. Last bit of news, Mason.
Yes.
More Pirates of the Caribbean, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Do you? You don't mind that?
I don't mind it at all.
You might. So this is
here it is. Here's the thumbnail.
Oh, that's dreadful.
Yeah.
I love it.
To be clear, this is real.
No, I know.
It was on one of the official 20th Century Fox channels.
Oh, it was like an official channel.
Yes, this isn't a fake one. This is a real one.
Oh my God. I thought it was like one of those re-upload channels.
No. That's what I'm saying.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it is lovely, isn't it?
They're catching up.
Look at this guy. There's an emoji of the...
They're becoming
face.
self-aware.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, guess what, 20th Century Fox? Everybody's sick of circles and red arrows.
That's right.
They're
You're too
sick of
late.
them.
We already ruined it years ago.
That's right.
Idiots. This is via LA Times. Craig Mazin spoke to them, who you might know as the showrunner of Chernobyl.
I do remember
but also
that guy.
Last of Us. Two great shows.
Hey, don't worry about the apocalypse. Last of Us, bro. Last of Us. Yeah, kill all those doctors and doom the world, but Last of Us, bro.
You're too tense about all the murders I did.
Yeah. And we're doomed, but Last of Us, bro.
So Craig Mazin said, we pitched a Pirates movie to Disney. He said, we pitched it and thought there's no way they're buying it. It's too weird. And they did.
Ooh.
And then he wrote, I don't know who that is, a fantastic script and the strike happened and everyone's waiting around. This is interesting to me that Craig Mazin, who has exclusively made good things.
Yes.
I mean, I think he also made superhero movie or something at some point.
Absolutely.
But obviously, people like that
In
one.
the present day.
Yeah.
He had to work on some slop.
Yeah, and just the idea of like a very weird Pirates movie.
Yeah.
In a new direction.
Because those Pirates movies did go in some weird directions.
Yeah.
Not all of which were great.
It felt, by the end, also like pretty uniform. I saw a video on it. Who had this video where they were talking about how it became like, or maybe it was just, I think it was a comment I saw actually on a video. It was about the fake, there's a fake.
Do you want to go any smaller than that?
No.
Okay.
The video was.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's by Fermento, and the video is Dead Men Tell No Tales, the imposter Jack Sparrow. And it's basically like the Jack Sparrow in that is not the real Jack Sparrow, whether that be intentionally or not, but it's a guy pretending to be Jack Sparrow because he's not.
Yep.
Like all the things that he's doing are kind of Jack Sparrow-esque, but it looks like he's doing a
Jack Sparrow impression.
Yeah, which is true. And I think the comment was something along the lines of, after the first Pirates movie, they started writing Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
As opposed to letting Johnny Depp take the material and just do it in a
I feel that's
Jack Sparrow
I feel
way.
that's the same way they started writing Doctor Who after a while. I feel like I've talked about this before, but I think when they did the Eccleston and Tennant seasons, those guys brought a certain amount of cool to Doctor Who that it had not had before. It had been fun and interesting, but it was never cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're like, what if we wrote him as really cool and everybody thought he was cool?
And
Well, that's not cool anymore.
When everyone told him it was cool.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden that wasn't cool anymore.
I mean, it's a bit cool.
Yeah, but it's the same with this. It's like he brought that odd... like he clearly got a normal script and he went, I'll be a bit odd about it and strange, and people will respond to that. And they went, well, what if we made him the strangest, weirdest guy?
Yeah.
Well, then it doesn't work as well, does it?
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. Pirates. Anyway, should we move it along?
Yes.
Got a tweet here. This is the perfect lead-in.
I love that.
I love how I plan things.
Is the tweet from a cool, famous person?
Yep.
That's great.
This is from Chris O'Donnell.
From Batman and Robin.
And other things.
But what was the first thing you thought of when you thought of Chris O'Donnell?
Yeah, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And then it was NCIS, whatever one he does.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just went to LL Cool J.
Same.
Because he's in that. So.
Deepest, bluest, my hat is like a shark fin. And then we thought of course, our commentary for the movie Deep Blue Sea.
Correct, yeah. Which we do have. And we have a commentary of The Flash. I think we mentioned it last week. It's up now.
That's right.
And whatever else is the new thing at Big Sandwich this week. I think it's a year. I think we look at the year 1978 and see what the pop culture was.
Surprisingly good year.
A really good year, actually, in hindsight. Who knew?
Yeah.
Us, after we researched it. So Chris Sullivan actually sent this tweet and said, #WeeklyPlanetPod at Wikipedia Brown and at Mr. Sunday Movies. Calling Luffy a Gumby guy was killing me. I need a One Piece review so bad. Well, here we are.
Here it's going to happen.
It's a bit late.
I mean, it would have been nice if you were famous.
Yeah.
And like a famous person added us.
Yeah.
You know, like Barack Obama was like, let me be clear. If you could do a review of One Piece.
And I'm a war criminal.
I'd love to do a drone. I'll do a drone strike on you if you don't do it. You know? That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
You know? And you know it'd be cool Obama as well. He'd have like a...
He'd be bouncing a basketball maybe.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm normal. I'm not a murderer.
He'd be wearing some cool casual wear like he does now because he doesn't have to be the president
he doesn't
anymore.
have to be the president.
Oh my God.
Imagine not being the president. What would you even want to be the president?
I don't know.
Nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
so
One Piece.
We'd watch One Piece.
Well, he wants to be the president of pirating.
That's
what do you
true.
think the story was?
Oh, come on, mate.
Yeah.
All right, so it's set on a world much like our world, except completely different. It's very different from our, and it's mostly water. So there's a lot of seafaring adventures, and there's a pirate out there, and his name's like Golden Rob or Rich Gravy or something. And he's like, I'm the king of the pirates, and but he's going to get executed by the world government because I don't like piracy. And before they execute him, they're like, but I'll tell you what, I've still got a treasure out there, and maybe you guys could find the treasure, and here's a clue.
Is it love or something?
I don't think so. I think it's proper treasure.
I hope it's a real treasure.
Yeah. He's like, I've got a treasure out there, and here's a clue to get it. It's somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, whoa, I didn't know it was somewhere out there. And so everybody in the world is like, we're going to get this treasure.
Yeah.
But then 20 years pass, and nobody ever finds the treasure.
Yep.
But then our mate, Luffy, or possibly Luffy, depending on who you're speaking to, is like, I'm a cool, laid-back guy, and I'm going to find that treasure. All I need is a crew because I've already got a boat. Oh, wait, my boat's sunk. Now I need a crew and a boat.
Yep.
And
this boat's not going to work either. I'm going to need another boat.
Another boat. And then he's like, I'm gonna find this treasure with my...
I'm going to collect some colourful characters along the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm a Gumby guy.
And he's a Gumby guy.
Now, last week, you mentioned this because you'd watched it a couple of episodes ahead of me. And you're like, you were like, by the way, he's a Gumby guy, which blew my mind because at no part of I've been aware of One Piece for a long time. I've never read the manga or watched the anime.
Well, I have, but I'm going to come at this from the perspective of somebody who hasn't, because we need those two perspectives:
Yeah,
somebody who hasn't seen it and somebody who's pretending
consumed
to have it.
all 1,000 issues or whatever.
Yes.
And you were like, he's a Gumby guy, and I'd never. In no point had I ever considered that he was a Gumby guy, because in no piece of media I've ever seen him be a Gumby guy.
Me neither, Wink.
Yeah, and then I asked you, I think, is it like the movie Scott Pilgrim, where it looks like it's going to be a rom-com, and then there's the reveal that it's like a video game fight thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This was a lot like Scott Pilgrim.
It's very Scott Pilgrim, isn't it?
And obviously...
a series of villains they fight.
I think that...
Obviously, this was first.
Yeah, so obviously the One Piece manga predates the Scott Pilgrim comic books by a significant,
Yeah.
probably a couple of decades.
I'd say at least a decade, yeah.
I don't know. But then, of course, Scott Pilgrim, the movie, predates this show.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm sure it's all a mess of influences. And I think Brian Lee O'Malley was influenced by manga when he made Scott Pilgrim
Totally, yeah.
and et cetera.
There's a number of influences in Scott Pilgrim. Yeah,
but this is absolutely it does kind of follow that same narrative of
here's a weird thing you have to fight.
Here's a weird guy with a weird power, and here's this guy can fall to bits and come back together, and this guy's got a tiny little sword.
Yeah,
that's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Would you call this one piece of crap or one piece of pretty good content?
Second one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's weird because the balance of this walks a very fine line because it's such a nonsense world, and its characters, especially the lead guy, I'm watching him and I'm like, I think I should fucking hate this guy,
right?
But I don't.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he's irritating, but it's not irritating me. Does that make? And I think so much of that is the performance. Inaki Godoy plays him, just really earnestly.
Yeah,
and he's and some of the line delivery is a bit ropey because the dialogue is clearly lifted straight from the source material. Yeah, but he sells it all, really. Yeah.
What's interesting as well, I think, and I think that they've cast all the supporting characters really well. I think all the assorted villains, the evil exes.
And here's some names: Emily Rudd as Nami, McKenna as Zorro, Taz Skylar as Sanji. There's some of the names, Mason.
I love it when you read out the names.
I don't remember anyone's actual name from the show.
No, neither do I. Actors' names, characters' names. Yeah. Actually, obviously, Rich Gravy, the king of the pirates. I love that guy. He was pretty good. You know what I liked about this? Look, the casting is good.
Yeah.
And I think the set pieces are a lot of fun. And like you said, he should be annoying, but he's not. And I think it's a credit to him, the main guy. But it's interesting as well. Obviously a lot of the world is visual effects.
Yeah.
But I think maybe something that and I would say I would ordinarily hate that. If it was a Speed Racer universe where everything is obviously fake, I think I would hate this.
Yeah, sure.
But I think what sells it to me is that everything, while everything in the background feels like quite fuzzy visual effects, everything in the foreground is very textured.
That's true.
And it's got it all feels very
a lot of
real.
Props and
I don't
costuming
know, there'll be there's a lot of scenes set on boats.
Yeah.
And I don't know is it just the deck that is real and everything else is visual effects? But it's every piece of wood and every, sword and every rope and it all looks real and all the characters are very heavily textured.
Yes.
Everybody's... They haven't plasticined people.
No, but I think also some of that is that, but it also adds to it because there's so many obvious wigs and makeups and prosthetic and all that kind of stuff. But I think because it is this weird heightened universe, it works. And I think it's also because this is it's an expensive show, and it kind of in some ways it looks like a Netflix show or movie looks, but the best version of that, and it's appropriate for this. Apparently, it was $17 million per episode, which is the second highest for a Netflix series to Stranger Things. So that's kind of money there.
Okay.
Which is a bit less than they do for The Mandalorian.
Okay.
But you can see the wigs on everybody all the time. But it's who cares,
Yeah.
It's a weird anime universe where everyone screams the punch they're about to do.
That's right.
Or whatever, which I didn't like, to be fair.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one of the only things I didn't like, But I think also what works is the characters all feel very genuine and they, I guess, and know each other, it's these weird kind of almost stilted interactions and superficial understanding of the universe and good and evil.
Yeah. Boy, in this universe, I certainly wouldn't want to be a really pretentious, floppy-haired guy who's got a sense of superiority because my dad's the sheriff or whatever. Because you are going to get thumped. Especially in the first couple of episodes, it's just a bunch of dudes showing up being oh, how dare you speak that way to me, man who's carrying 3 swords?
Yeah,
because I'm actually my dad's big toe. Oh, you've beaten me up.
Yeah,
you've beaten me up very severely.
Given me this bob haircut, which I'm keeping for the rest of the series. Yeah. But I think in addition to that, and you mentioned this, but the collection of colourful enemies that they come up against, and it's, I would say every 2 episodes or so, there's a new pirate they have to fight. And I know this is taken from the source material. I know that because I've definitely had the time to to watch and read all of that.
So you knew ahead of time that One Piece was the treasure.
Yeah.
Because
don't wanna
I had to
spoil it.
learn that. I'm like, oh, that's what they're talking about.
Did you think it was one piece of crap?
I thought it was maybe a one-piece swimsuit.
Oh, okay,
For example. Because it's beachy and...
It is. It's a beachy world, isn't it? But yeah, you know, there's like a shark guy. You mentioned the guy who falls apart, you know. There's a guy with a giant like crucifix sword and also a little crucifix sword.
There's a clown. Oh, the clown guy is the fall apart guy.
Yeah. All of that I quite like, yeah. But I just remember like multiple times during this. There's a moment where he, I guess if we do some spoilers, but I guess we won't spoil anything too heavily, where a friend betrays him and then comes back and asks him for help. Yeah. And he like screams to the heavens.
That's right.
That he's got to help. But I'm like, I think I even said out loud, like, God, this is so naff. Like,
whoa.
But that's what I
you
said.
got a bit British.
Yeah, but in a way that this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And also by that point, that's like 5 episodes in, and it's like, well, if you're not committed to the show at
exactly,
this point,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to leave there.
Yeah. I feel like also this making this is an insurmountable task.
Because there's 1,000.
There's 1,000.
There's 1,000 mangas, and there's
the cast. You'd have to recast at some
now
point.
the comic and the anime are finished, as far as I know.
Okay,
the
sure.
story is finished, I think. So either they found the One Piece and it was a treasure, or they found the One Piece and it was love.
I would hate to say.
Or they found the One Piece and it was treasure and it falls beneath the ocean or whatever, and they're like, well, I guess we lost the One Piece
And we got each other.
We got each other in friendship.
Yeah. Exactly. And we probably picked up some other people on the way.
Yeah, and I've got this big sword.
Yeah,
and I'm still a Gumby guy. You know.
Do you think we'll lose his Gumby guy powers?
No. Oh, wait, no, but... because if you get immersed in salt water, that's why he can't swim. Because if you get immersed... So the main character ate a devil's fruit.
Yep.
And he got Gumby powers.
Yep.
And the other people in this universe, if you eat a devil's fruit, depending on the fruit, you get a different power. But if you get immersed in salt water, you lose... Your powers stop working.
Yeah.
So do you permanently lose them if you
No,
get...
I think it's just...
Okay,
because
right.
there's a few times when he's submerged and he's like, I can't do a big punch.
That's true.
You know, yeah. I felt like also at the start, like, oh, is this guy like Reed Richards invincible? But he's not.
No.
He can be cut and, you know, he can be even beaten up.
That's
true.
true.
Like, despite his flexibilities and all of that. Yeah, I thought that worked well. And the overarching story about who was tracking him and how that was revealed. And that's all apparently. There's a number of narrative, like, characters are, like, you know, combined and... people who are revealed who to have known him happen at different points.
That's true,
like,
yeah.
Apparently it's less like the characters, some of them are like less lecherous because, you know, a lot of anime, especially older stuff, is just like guys going like, you know what I mean? Like following
the most lecherous thing you can do.
Yeah, like following a girl around for like 1,000 episodes or whatever. But yeah, I just don't know how though they're going to pull this off.
I don't think they
without
are.
just cancelling it at some
They're
point.
going to, I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe, and again, I would love to hear from fans of the original, besides you, James, besides the man who knows everything about anime, just some other perspectives. Because if anything, you know too much.
You're right.
You've lost objectivity because you
true,
know too much. But you know, first of all, what does this cover in terms of the originals? Like, does it cover? Is 8 episodes 8 issues, or is it a year?
It feels
or is
like
it many years.
It feels like
did this cover like 5 years of the comic? Or
I think it's like a prologue. It feels like, right?
Well, that's exactly right. And I guess my question is, do you think they can maintain this, or is it a case of like, well, do you feel like it's just kind of like an artifact? Like, well, they'll probably they may make more of this, they may never make more of this, but I guess you just go, oh, well, imagine you could imagine the rest of it if it was live action kind of thing, you know. It's just
AI will do it eventually.
AI will do it eventually. That's right. Yeah,
that's what I want. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just don't see it going for. I just don't see it happening.
I mean, if it's $17 million an episode, unless somebody high up in Netflix loves One Piece, and maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, it's pretty spectacular they managed to pull this off about anything even remotely watchable.
That's true. That is true.
It's pretty incredible.
And it seems to be garnering more positive reaction
People like
than
it a lot.
Cowboy Bebop, which was the previous
You've
one.
been fans of the source material, myself included, consider it a good adaptation.
There you go.
Yeah, which is pretty much unheard of these days. There's a few things that just before we wrap it up.
Yes.
I understand like Luffy's motivation in terms of like he wants to get the One Piece.
Yes, absolutely.
So why not, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. But I don't get why like he wants to be a pirate because he feels like it's what he wants to be, right? Which is fine, whatever. But like why do you...
Yeah, do it. Jimmy Buffett lifestyle, baby. R.I.P.
Oh, R.I.P. But why does he want to...
What's that Margaritaville lifestyle? He wants a cheeseburger in paradise.
But why does he want to...
It's a great song, James. Cheeseburger in
It
paradise.
might be. I don't know it. But why
My dad loves Jimmy Buffett, and so
how did he go this week?
I haven't asked him, but I will.
Yeah.
I'll ask him next time I see him.
Yeah, please do.
Probably devastated. Probably Devo.
I don't doubt it.
So I've heard
Has
a lot
he ever
of
done
Jimmy
any of the
Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett styled like resorts or restaurants?
Nobody has seen him live, I think.
And
Loved it.
did he play all 1 million of his songs?
Yes, of course he did.
Okay, great. Yeah. But like, why does he want everybody to be after him and be the most famous pirate? Is this their version of social media?
I guess it is,
Like,
yeah.
is it
Yeah.
like a popularity thing?
Bit of excitement, you know?
Yeah, but like, why would you want people trying to kill you all day forever?
I think you may be ascribing too much motivation to this character.
And that maybe he's an airhead.
Yeah, that he's a himbo. Have we gotten some more himbo media recently that I'm like, oh yeah, just a nice dumb guy.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Also, did you buy his evolution from a real like a little angry kid
It feels a little. There's some gaps there.
yeah,
right?
it does.
Yeah.
And again, maybe which will be filled out in the season 2, which may never happen.
But you also get glimpses of his anger and what sets him off and where his loyalties are.
His friends.
Yeah, so you do kind of.
Yeah.
I think there is some stuff there.
That's true. And I guess the idea being that the pirate captain, the one-armed pirate,
Yeah.
you know, who saved him a number of times, probably, you know, over the course of his growing up in his adolescence, maybe taught him like, be cool and chill.
Yeah.
Margaritaville, baby. You know?
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the last thing I want to say is that like this is classic post-credit scene, but also haven't cast that person yet.
Oh yeah, the mysterious guy, the double cigar man. Yeah.
Who is that?
Is it Edward Norton again? I think it's probably Edward Norton.
It's probably Edward Norton.
He's probably learned from Battle Angel Alita. They're like, sign you up and pay you, and then you never have to do it.
That's right, yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, just like...
Should we Google One Piece? Do you want to know if you Google
Not
One
really.
Piece double cigar man, what will happen?
It's a guy who's he's got a vendetta and a weird thing about him. Like, I don't...
Do you think he has two mouths?
Maybe. Or like that.
Or he smokes
Stacked
out of his nose.
Okay. I was going to say stacked or side by side.
I was imagining side by side, but maybe... I don't
That's
know.
me doing two snapping mouths.
Okay.
Yeah, they say shit a lot in this show.
They do.
Especially the clown.
Yeah. Rude.
I agree. He wasn't
Anyway,
a
I'm
rude
going to
clown.
say best series ever.
Yeah,
had a
no, I
good
really
time.
liked it.
Yeah. I didn't think I would. Is that a case of low expectations?
Yeah, if I didn't have heard this was good, I just wouldn't have watched it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't watch Cowboy Bebop. I don't watch any of these like adaptations. I'm not interested, quite frankly. But this one, I can't wait for 4 years until they release the next season.
Yeah.
And all the cast are in their early to late 40s.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the main guy's like 20. Like, he's pretty young.
Okay, well,
But,
then he's got
yeah.
a few years in
He's got
him.
a few years, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got that the Tom Holland window.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Great stuff. All right.
Tom Holland's got a beautiful soul, that guy.
He seems
You've
like
seen
he
him
does.
recently?
Yeah, he's having a good time.
He posted that photo of Zendaya in like scuba gear or whatever.
Yeah. He
Had a
likes
bit of
her.
fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, not a very flattering photo, Tom. But it's like, yeah, because in his mind, like, obviously she's one of the most beautiful women in the world.
Yeah, sure.
But like, of course, in his mind, he's like, yeah, it's my beautiful girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a
And
photo of
this
it.
is fun.
It's beautiful, a bit of fun.
And we're having fun, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
you're right.
Settle down, everybody.
Settle down, everybody.
He's got real wife guy energy.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which can be bad, but in this case, it's
good.
From social media, seems good.
That's true.
And we can retract that
That's absolutely
if
true.
need be. All right, should we move it along?
Yes.
What are we doing?
Oh, wait, do we need any? Do we have any? Is there any One Piece spoiler talk we need to talk about?
You know, he gets
Not really.
he gets through it. His grandpa's the guy.
His grandpa's the guy, exactly. The guy who executed Rich Gravy.
You might be thinking of the rapper Young Gravy.
Maybe I'm thinking that. Boys, the bloody hip hop scene is my bloody grandmother's pantry. Am I right? This guy, he's in there.
No, I'm trying to think of a grandmother type thing. Like, well, that's tin of like butter cookies or whatever. What are they called?
Oh, Royal Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved his mixtape. I loved Royal Dance mixtape.
All right, what are we going to do next?
What are we reading?
Yeah?
What are we going to read?
I believe you. I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today?
That's right.
What do you
Or
got?
going to
Or going
the
to.
shops.
That's right. Maybe we're going
Yeah.
to the shops.
I don't have time to go to the shops.
I'm busy.
Yep, me too.
I also went to the shops earlier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, you know. I've gone twice.
Yeah, I'm not
Gone twice, I can wait.
Mr. 2 trips to the shops. Someone's doing all right. Oh, I forgot something. I go back to the shops. Wow.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. I've been reading. I read the first 2 issues of Big Game.
I read
written by
those.
Mark Miller and Pepe Larraz.
This is the combination of all his Millerverse.
Yeah, so this
superhero
is.
and
I mean, a
villains.
little bit of spoilers, but I think maybe if you're not into this sort of stuff, you were probably not reading it anyway. So
Yeah.
So recently, Mark Miller did a reboot of one of his characters, Nemesis.
Yes.
The series was called Nemesis Reloaded,
Mm-hmm.
and it rewrote Nemesis's origin.
Yeah.
Because in the original series, it's about a guy who's like a self-styled supervillain, and he dresses all in white. He looks like Batman, but he just does villainous stuff, and he goes around the world killing lawmen.
Because he loves it.
Because he loves it. And the reveal at the end of that, spoilers for that thing, he's got a tragic backstory about, his parents were criminals or something,
Yeah.
and he went wrong or whatever. But the reveal is that he's just a rich guy who wanted to become a supervillain as kind of a thrill.
Just because.
And there was a weird organization that's been around for a long time that just did this for him, like a luxury vacation.
It's like Michael Douglas's The Game.
It was like Michael Douglas's The Game, so they gave him like all this, this supervillain identity and all these gadgetry and all this training and all these plans and all this stuff, so he could execute this worldwide crime wave kind of thing. And
he died.
And he died. And the post credits is basically the cop who defeats him gets a message from the company and is like, well, there's more of this coming.
Yeah.
And there just never was.
Well, and because there was going to be a sequel with Red Nemesis.
Yeah.
Do you remember that was the kind of the tease for years?
Yeah, right.
Where there was going to be another guy would start doing this.
Uh-huh.
But then Mark Miller decided to retell that story.
Yeah.
But keep every other world like in canon, because like there's Huck who's like dumb Superman.
Yeah.
It's like Clark Kent who never left the farm and he's dumb.
Yeah.
There's Starlight, which is like a Flash Gordon guy. There's Wanted, Kingsman.
Yeah.
All of these. There's other Kick-Ass.
Yeah, so Big Game essentially is the idea. So they've rebooted Nemesis. So now he's not sympathetic.
No.
But he is just that guy. He's not a millionaire masquerading as a supervillain. He's actually a supervillain with an origin and etc. And now he is sort of okay. Now we're into full spoilers for this thing, but I think you should check it out. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah,
I don't love everything Mark Miller does, but the reveal of this is that Nemesis has been trained by. He's been inducted into an organization. He's been trained his whole life to be this villain, and the people behind it are the villains from Wanted.
Yes,
and so in the series Wanted, the world used to be a superhero supervillain world.
Not the movie, if you're wondering.
Not the movie. It's different from the movie. Like costumed supervillains and heroes flying around.
Pretty much without doing it explicitly because you can't due to copyright. There was Superman and Batman and Spider-Man and all of those.
And the villains one day killed all the heroes, took over the world, and then changed reality so you don't remember. So none of us remember that the world used to be more colourful and interesting or whatever. So what Mark Miller's done is he's taken all the other properties that he's created since and has gone, well, they're all in the same world. People remember superheroes and supervillains, and they're always putting them in movies and comic books and TV shows because they're trying to puzzle out what happened to the world that they remember.
And some people explicitly also remember, very few people actually remember.
Yeah. But also because of that, and because of how the world is, and the world is kind of still a kind of crazy sci-fi world under the surface, now superheroes are emerging, like Huck and Starlight and the Kingsman, and so they need the wanted villains need an agent to destroy them all. Yeah, and so they're using Nemesis. And I think that's really interesting. So it's all the new stuff. The Ambassadors, which is a new series. The Magic Order is going to be inducted into this.
I wrote a bit of the Magic Order. I read the first run. I should probably go back to it. But what's Ambassadors again?
The Ambassadors is it's basically a sci-fi concept. They've invented this device that can beam superpowers to people. Okay. And there can only be a few of them in the world. Right. And so different nations all have elected one superhero.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And you can sort of download different powers.
Oh, I didn't realize they were from another thing.
Yeah.
But there was also the Chrononauts, who are time traveling. Yeah. Cool dudes.
And this series,
the Chrononauts?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. This series is not shy about killing off main people that Mark Miller's invented.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is going to end with reality being changed again and they all get brought back, or if he's just like, I created these characters, I gave them a 4-issue miniseries and I'm just going to kill them now. Who knows?
Why not?
Yeah. But I don't know. And is this a cynical attempt to create a shared universe? Because it also includes, like you said, Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Like Hit Girl is in this, and Kick-Ass are in this as well.
Maybe Jupiter's Legacy is in this?
Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy seems to be being pitched as a fictional thing.
or it's media in the universe. Yeah, I can't remember.
So I don't know if that one's real or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, or they're maybe publicly superheroes now.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But is it a cynical way of kind of pitching this shared universe and going like, well, you loved Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
You liked Kingsman.
Yep.
Well, they're all in the same universe, and I've got more, so maybe we'll do some more movies kind of thing.
Maybe they should, though.
Yeah, maybe they should, yeah. Again, I think Miller's stuff is kind of hit or miss for me, but I think a lot of it is quite good.
Yeah, I completely
The less
agree.
cynical stuff.
Sure, yeah, okay.
The kind of, the more...
I see. I think my favorite thing of his is Superior, which is what if a boy, like a real boy, became Superman?
Yes. Or like a Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel
Shazam
kind of thing,
Captain
yeah.
Marvel, yeah.
And just like, what is the weight of that on a real... And Superior's in this universe as well.
Yes.
Though they haven't really done much with it yet. But the weight of that and the responsibility and the expectations and how that you can't exist like that as a person for too long because it's just an impossible ideal to be like a Chris Reeve Superman. Like it cannot... It will be undone.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. So,
Interesting, right?
Interesting. Well, speaking of comic book stuff,
Go on.
We're being for our next series of movies for Caravan of Garbage. We're looking at like pulp comic book movie. We talk about how we define it in the actual videos.
Yes.
But a series of comic book big swings from the 90s upwards that were going to be like a big thing, and they put a lot of money and effort, and it's a very specific vision, and they bombed. So like the first one we're looking at this week is Dick Tracy.
Yes.
And the second one will be The Rocketeer, and there's going to be 5 we're going to do in total.
So you've been reading Dick Tracy comics?
No, we watched Dick Tracy. That one
That's
is
true.
in the can.
But you could read some
I
Dick
could
Tracy
potentially,
comics.
yeah.
But we've recorded that thing, so it's too late.
It's done.
You know what came out at the time, and I may still have them somewhere, but when that Dick Tracy movie came out, there were 3 Dick Tracy prequel comics.
Okay, to the movie.
Yeah, to the movie. And they were drawn by Kyle Baker, who did Plastic Man years later, and they're really cool and interesting. They're way better than the movie.
I was going to say, that sounds really cool and interesting.
Yeah, but
Unlike the movie.
He really, because he did Plastic Man and he's done a bunch of other stuff in that similar vein.
Yeah.
He really gets the grotesque look of those characters.
Yeah. Oh, there's some real freaks in that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Real uggos. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's the wrong word.
Yeah.
You're going to know about it.
You are going to know about it.
Yeah.
Are we going to know about copyright on this sort of stuff? I wonder if, because we talk a lot about Warren Beatty and his like stranglehold on the Dick Tracy rights.
No, I think
Do you think he's going to be like copyright striking this video?
No, he's not looking at that.
Okay. All right.
Dude, like, I don't know what he's doing, but not that.
Yeah.
I saw an interview with him because in research. We talk about how many women he slept with in the video. Spoiler alert. So I watched like a Graham Norton interview, and he's just an old guy, you know?
Yeah.
Just an old guy confused on a couch where everyone's just like having a great time, and he's like, I don't know, I can't read this.
Yeah,
Like,
I regret this. The world has changed, and I
Yeah.
haven't. I don't like this.
Yeah. That's what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Happens to all of us. Not us.
No, we're cool. I also rewatched the first episode of Burn Notice. I'm like, am I going to go back to Burn Notice? I don't know why.
Why? What are you doing?
I don't know. I just got thinking about Burn Notice, and
Do you have it, or is it on something?
It's on Disney Plus.
Okay,
in
great.
Australia.
Yeah.
So I'm
I remember
like
dipping in and out of Burn Notice.
right.
Yeah.
I did. Who burned him? I can't remember.
Michael Burn Notice. Man.
That's right.
What's he doing? Did he ever get unburn noticed?
I don't know.
Someone
So that's the
should
thing.
tell him. I think if he shook someone hard enough, they'd tell him.
They tell him, yeah. So if people haven't seen it, it's from about 2007.
Sure.
And it went for a long time.
Did it?
It went for like at least 5 seasons, I think.
yeah. Bruce Campbell's in it.
Bruce Campbell's in it, and Gabrielle Anwar is in it.
It's
and,
fun.
And a bunch of like, the first episode has Ray Wise, famous sinister guy.
He's really?
Yeah, he's like the villain of the week. And it also has the guy from Dexter, who's the guy, he's like
Not Dexter's dad?
No, but he's one of Dexter's pals in the police force.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's a kind of very Florida kind of guy.
Yeah, he's got the hat.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, but it's about a like a former
2007 to 2013.
See, there you go.
God,
That went for a long time.
Burn Notice.
But it's like a sort of A-team style, you know.
Yes.
If you've got no one to turn to, there's a guy and he's got a set of skills and he'll get the bad guys for you, and it can't. Like maybe I'm looking for another one of those shows to watch when you're not watching a show, really.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It is fun though. Like it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fun show. Yeah.
His haircut has not aged well.
Oh?
It's like a crew cut that's grown out a bit.
Okay.
It doesn't look good.
Oh.
But I imagine it was quite cool for 2007.
Michael Burn Notice. What are you doing?
Exactly. But it's about a guy who, he's a former spy and he gets issued with the burn notice,
Yeah,
which means that spy agencies think he's like no longer reliable. Maybe he's
Something's up.
something's up, and so he can't leave his hometown of Florida.
Yeah.
And nobody trusts him anymore, and he doesn't have any money or any contacts or anything like that. So he just has to like do odd jobs in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's like helping people who need help. And he's got like
And he'll tell you all about it.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
explain it to you. as it's
yes,
happening.
exactly. He's got a like a running narration.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun show.
Burn Notice.
I'm either going to watch that or I'm going to finish Magnum PI.
oh my God.
So I don't know.
I think that's the same show, actually.
It is essentially the same show, yes. It is, yeah. It really is.
Should we do letters then?
Let's do letters.
Great.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. So letters. Oh wait. Correspondence.
I like that.
That's good, right?
This is the correspondence section of the show where we get correspondence. And if you want to shoot us some correspondence, you can.
That's right.
You can shoot some correspondence to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com or tweet at me. Hashtag weeklyplanetpod. So, Mason, what do you got in terms of correspondence this week?
Great question, James.
I can do one while you're looking.
Terrific, I love
From
that.
Ethan, who says, hashtag weeklyplanetpod. I know you've been pretty cold on Ahsoka, but what did you think of episode 4?
I didn't watch it.
I'm going to talk about it right now. Just
Great,
quickly.
I love
we'll probably
that.
do a wrap-up. I don't know
I
whether
know there's
we
a big
will.
revelation because I
Yep.
saw the screenshots.
I'm going to spoil it.
Here's time for some big spoilers,
Yeah.
folks. If you don't want to be big spoiled for Ahsoka.
So the big spoiler at the end is Ahsoka falls off a cliff and then she wakes up in the Star Wars time travel room. And Anakin...
Which is the tree?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
And Anakin Skywalker's there, played by Hayden Christensen.
But he's old now?
No, he's young.
Okay.
Oh, but they de-age him a bit.
Okay.
He's like the way he looked in the prequels.
Okay.
But,
Ish.
with the weird... Yeah, ish.
Plastic.
That's great. That's a good way to put it.
He looks
Ish.
like an action figure.
Yes.
If you defocused your eyes, he would look like an action figure from like episode 3.
Correct. That's what he looks like. And I think it might be because she's on the verge of death, and this is like the realm before you go into become a ghost. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't fucking know.
Could this be Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker?
Yeah, it is. It's like it's
Okay.
really him, I think.
Right.
The ghost version of him. Anyway, but that's not what I want to talk about. So leading up, there's a series of like lightsaber duels in the forest, and
Which apparently quite good.
yeah, they're
I've been
quite
told.
good. Yeah, I think all of it. Like, it looks good. I think this is the best episode, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks good, and wow, it's Anakin Skywalker, I guess. And look, this guy's talking about the Clone Wars of Anakin, and turns out Marok is just like a man made of smoke or something.
He's just a guy.
No, not even a guy. He dies, and like a bunch of like smoke comes out of him.
Wasn't even Ezra.
So he could have been like long dead or
Wow.
Night Sister magic or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the thing about all that is the narrative and the characters don't support any of these things.
Okay.
So like Anakin shows up, but it's like there's a moment where they go to march into the woods like Sabine and Ahsoka, and the David Tennant robot's like, now remember, if you're going to take one piece of advice, you should stick together. And they turn around and they're like, we will stick together.
Great.
And then they turn and he's like,
Well, now I don't want to stick together because you told me to.
and they
So,
don't.
great.
But it's like that kind of stilted shit. Like the guy, Ray Winston?
Yes,
No. Ray
Stevenson.
Yeah, it's like, where they before they have a lightsaber fight with Ahsoka, is like, I knew Anakin Skywalker and I know who you are and I know what he became. And she's like, I don't want to talk about Anakin Skywalker. And I'm like, this is thrilling. I love this. And it's just like...
If I can be critical, James, if I can be critical of the couple of episodes I've seen, and I will be, it's that a lot of the conversations don't sound like real people having real
No.
conversations.
I worry
It's
that-
people saying lines and waiting
Yes.
for the other person, waiting to finish so
Yeah.
they can say another
And sometimes
line.
they wait too long.
Yeah, right?
Like, it's too much of a pause.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's probably because, like, Dave Filoni went to the George Lucas School of Dialogue for some of this, because it is often like two people in a room and they'll be like, we need to learn to work together. And it's like, well, sometimes I find it hard to work together. Yeah, but if you're going to train under me, it's like that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And it's like, God, kill me with this.
Yeah.
But I think outside of that,
Yes.
I think it will improve.
okay.
And I think like the overall narrative.
Wow, sounds like you're being paid $50 to alter your Rotten Tomatoes score.
But it's just like the pace of it
Yeah.
Like the snappiness is just not there.
It's a shame,
and it
yeah.
might even be intentional. I don't know because it's not always, and it's not with everybody.
Yeah, right.
I don't even hate it.
Yeah.
I don't even hate it.
Wow.
But I don't know. I just it's not quite there for me.
Okay. Now, so presumably the next episode then will be Ahsoka and Anakin together in a lot of scenes talking.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that those actors have never worked together. Like this is the idea. The entire idea behind Anakin had a secret apprentice between episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But neither of those voice actors are these real actors.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So they had years of practice working together, but Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson have never shared a scene together, as far as I know, in anything.
That's probably
so they have
true.
to. So the task here is to make a believable rapport between these two characters, even though they've never done that ever. So,
and they might not even be on set together.
Yeah, well, I mean, and if I will be.
I think it could go really well.
They are professional actors. They've done good work before,
That's right,
so maybe this will work, and we'll be like, oh, it's just like the old days.
I would love this to be like the spark.
Sure.
That lights the fire, etc. That Star Wars thing.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
that really kind of kicks things off and like ramps up the characters. But I don't know whether that's going to happen.
When's this show set again?
5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Okay,
When's
great.
anything set?
5 years after
Exactly,
Return of the Jedi.
yeah.
I was going to say I don't know, but I do.
Anyway, yeah, it's like, but also it's all right, you
great.
like Star Wars?
Yeah.
They're doing that.
I don't like Star
And
Wars.
you're not going to like it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think I am being like unfairly critical of this show, which is a sequel to a cartoon,
Sure, yeah. Mhm.
But I know people might even be saying, well, you're not being critical enough. But like, I don't care ultimately.
It's
like I could, if they were like, yeah, we just cancelled the rest, I'd be like, okay. Like, I'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your burn notice.
It is, isn't it?
I think that's great.
Yeah, I think Sabine's really good. I think Hera's really good. Like
Hera is really
Hera.
good. Okay.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead is really good in this.
How's Chopper? How's my pal Chopper?
I don't like him. I've never liked him,
That's
and
a
I don't
shame.
like him.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Tennant robot's fun.
Right.
But the Rosario Dawson thing, and I don't even know if it's the performance. It's it's either the direction or like it's the stoicism of it doesn't work. And I'm not the
Right.
only one who said this. But it is intentional.
Yeah, right.
You kind of can see that. People are like, well, she's not like young and like snappy as she used to be. And
Maybe
she's
she
like,
becomes
she was,
snappy in the next
Yeah,
episode.
but like she was like 13 in the first
Well,
when
maybe
she showed up.
maybe when we see the two characters together and they haven't been together in a while, maybe it's that thing where like, you meet your,
shut up, Dad.
when you see your high school friends again or whatever, it's like, ugh, you're all, ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your
Maybe
letter?
Okay, here's an email from Dave.
Dave?
A few people sent this in. Hey, James and Meso, in the latest pod, you guys talked about if comic book movie actors ever went on to write comics of those characters.
We got a few of this. Good, I'm glad you brought this up.
One 6-issue miniseries that actually concluded a week or so ago is Ridley Year One, written by Paul Dano with art by Steven Subic.
Yeah, I heard
It's
this
a
is
prequel
really
to
good,
the
right?
film and shows how the Riddler arrived at the point where he's willing to try and destroy Gotham. I think it's a very good book, and the art in particular is absolutely excellent. I've only seen the covers. But yeah,
I had no idea this was even out.
if I recall, I remember it happening. Now that I've been reminded, I remember it perfectly. If I recall correctly from an interview, Dano was telling Matt Reeves about his ideas on how he imagined the Riddler's life and motivations, and Reeves said they sounded like a great comic book, so he called up Jim Lee, who was the head of DC at the time, I think, to pitch the idea, and that was that Paul Dano got to write it. There you go. I highly recommend it, and I would hope Paul Dano writes more comics in the future if this is the quality he is capable of. Yeah, Paul Dano seems like a guy who would do like extensive research on probably both the
Not
comic
just like
book character.
slap it out, be like, I can do
Exactly, and get into the mind of the character, which feels like the perfect way to be like, how, if you're building an origin story, get right into the mind of the character and do that. So there you go.
this. Another one that people said was Danny DeVito wrote a Penguin comic a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's based around Batman Returns.
It's like weirded.
And where the Catwoman falls in love with the Penguin.
Yeah.
And he's the good guy or something?
Is it Batman Returns or is it just like the Penguin?
Maybe it's just the Penguin.
I'll never read it, but that seems interesting.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Anyway, Dave says, can I be the official dude telling you about Ridley Year One via email of the podcast?
You got it.
No, we've already got a guy who did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to share it with a bunch of other people.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes.
This is from Quinton, who says, "Hi, Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod.
Hi.
I know it's a big ask, but can James recommend some anime for the upcoming content drought? I trust his knowledge. Well, that's the guy who knows everything about anime.
Oh, yes.
It's obviously hard to narrow anything down, but I would recommend the One Piece live action series. If you don't know, we have talked about that already.
Yeah, quite recently, I think.
I recommend...
My memory's not great, but quite recently.
I recommend One Punch Man, probably up to about episode 2 or 3 of the second season, which is where some people may have stopped.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Why would they have stopped, do you think?
I don't know.
Just running out of time?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd recommend Dragon Ball Z, but maybe like you skip over a bunch of the Frieza saga because you came in like a bit late when it was on TV, and then you went up to the end of the Boo saga, and you're aware that it spun off into the GT universe, but you weren't really interested in that. And then they brought
What's GT stand for?
Dragon Troll, and then...
Nice.
I'm joking, it's got a real name.
That's the season when they realised that they've been mispronouncing Dragon Ball this whole time. We thought it was Dragon Ball, but it's Dragon Troll.
But that's obviously no longer canon, and they started making movies in the Dragon Ball Super universe, and maybe you could go into that, but maybe some people never bothered, and they ended it with the Majin Buu saga, which they saw most of that movie.
Interesting.
You know? It's different for everybody.
Who's Majin Buu again?
He's the pink marshmallow guy.
Yeah, I thought it was the pink guy.
Yeah. So those are probably my recommendations.
That's great.
I reckon. You got any?
Akira.
Oh, yeah.
You seen Akira?
Yeah, it's pretty, that's pretty mainstream. I don't know whether I'd go with that, necessarily.
A lot of people have recommended a show called Spy Family. Apparently that's quite good.
All right.
So I haven't seen any of that.
I like some slice of life stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Where it's just a guy running like a bar or whatever.
Oh, yeah?
I couldn't name specifically, but something like that, you know?
Okay.
Just where it's like a...
Roadhouse.
Yeah, like a...
The anime.
Yeah, like a nice thing.
Oh, anime Patrick Swayze. Can you imagine that?
Oh, my God.
Oh, he'd be dreamy.
He would be, even more so, maybe.
Dreamy.
Yeah. So those are my recommendations.
Yeah.
You got another letter?
Here's an email from Joel who says, "Welcome to One Piece, I hope."
Yeah?
And this is exactly the feedback I'm looking for, James. This is
Okay.
exactly the feedback. Hey, James and Mason, I'm very excited to welcome you to One Piece if you did indeed cover it in this upcoming episode.
We did.
We did, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. It's my favourite series of all time in any medium. I'm assuming he means the manga or the anime, perhaps. So I could talk your ear off for hours, but I'll try to be brief. 1, I have to shill for Piecemeal, a One Piece book club podcast covering one volume at a time. Interesting.
Okay.
And they're the hosts are a mix of veteran and newbie readers, so you get both perspectives. Interesting, just like us.
Just like us.
2, if you like the live action, I'd recommend reading the manga. There's so much stuff the live action changed or cut or won't get to for many years of production that may be right up your alleys.
I hear.
More fantasy races, crazier characters, and most importantly, an ever-expanding epic of a world with a rich history.
Yeah.
And a rich gravy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I try to avoid spoilers if you plan to tackle any more of the series in any form. There's some good bits.
I mean, yeah, I would love to, but I don't know whether I will because it's just, if I could be real.
Interesting.
It feels insurmountable, you know, but I should.
Yeah.
But I also like the live action, so I'm just going to be like, I'll just wait for this, I guess.
It's not going to happen though, is it?
Yeah, you're probably right.
What do you reckon the odds are?
I reckon they'll do at least another one.
Yeah, I'm
series.
Yeah.
And then they'll see.
Yeah. I reckon, yeah.
But it's at least 2 years away. At least.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. You know? All right. So anything else? Or?
Here's one more email from James.
Okay.
But not you, though. Hi, James and Maso, he says.
Hello.
I've been having a really rough week. I've been super on edge and burned out from pulling multiple 12-hour days in a row.
That sucks.
So I can get my work deadlines done in time to go home for a few days for my granddad's funeral. That sucks also.
Those are two things that are bad.
That's bad. When's this email going to get fun and lighthearted? Due to the stress burnout, I've really been struggling to sleep and switch off my brain, but listening to your old podcast has been a huge help, and it's been great. It's been so nice to laugh at something. Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you so much.
We will. We'll try.
I just want
no guarantees.
No guarantees, yeah. I just want to shout out Patricia Bro from the Great Mates group.
Patricia Bro.
She sent us an email like years ago where she went to Phoenix Comic Con and she represented this shirt. And it's like she mentioned it again and I ended up finding the email and be like, oh, yeah, no, this is cool, whatever. Anyway, been through a bunch of stuff. Really nice person. Really great contributor to the group. Brings great content, Mason, which is what we want.
We love content.
And yeah, so I just wanted to shout Patricia out because she just seems really super cool and nice and genuine. So yeah, thank you for all the years of support, the literal years, nearly a decade, Mason. We're coming up on 500 episodes, which is too many of this show.
Yeah. God.
Should wind it back.
Should we delete some?
Yes.
At random?
Yeah, no, just the last 50.
Oh, the most recent ones?
Yeah.
Great, I love that. Great.
All right, should we leave it there?
Let's leave it there, folks. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We absolutely appreciate it. We're having a grand old time over here.
We'll never stop.
We'll never stop.
We might, though.
We might.
We talked about how we'd stop the other day, didn't we?
That's right.
We're not planning on.
No. But if we did, we've got an exit strategy, which we'll never reveal until it happens.
Yeah, but no plans to do that.
Plans, that's right.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you for telling your friends about the podcast because that is primarily how we get new listeners. But also, thanks for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast catcher of choice. Do it in app.
You can't trust like a Spotify or an Apple to promote our podcast, you know what I mean? Because we're not under that umbrella.
That's right. So we can only trust you, the listener.
That's right. So
annoying your friends and co-workers. That's right.
Like Connor from Wisconsin, maybe, who says Two Tools podcast. He says, my Two Tools podcasts I look for are 1, be fun and entertaining, and 2, be able to turn on at night and help my ADHD mind focus on something enough to not wander so I can sleep. This is the only podcast that's done that for me in the last 7 years now. Thanks, boys.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Connor. And this is from DKenny54. He says, amazing stuff. 5 stars, by the way.
Amazing stuff.
These fellas have some hot takes that will sear the fuzz right off your peaches. I have had a lot of fun listening to these guys, and I even refer to them as my Aussie friends with my wife. She still hasn't figured out that we've never actually met.
Well, you haven't figured out we actually have met. We met you, brother.
No, but James's wife, Claire, is an amazing singer-songwriter.
You met us once on the way up and once on the way down.
That's right. What? Such a talented family. James, Claire, and their little baby Meso. Keep up the great work, folks. That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
That's Mason for you.
That's right. Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Bandcamp. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. You can go to the Weekly Planet Podcast subreddit and Discord. Thank you to Maisie and Sarabi and Fidel for moderating those forums and doing a bunch of other stuff, including the TikToks, the Clips channel, videos, also they're getting amongst it.
I agree.
Doing a great job. If you want to follow some people on the socials, first follow our friend Rob Collings, who edits this podcast, does videos, keeps everybody updated on all our comings and goings. You can follow him at Raw Collings on Twitter. You can follow him at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. You can follow me at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and Nick Maso on Instagram.
You're always
James
on
is
Twitter.
Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
Yep.
And everywhere else,
everywhere else, yeah.
That's correct.
There's a couple of YouTube videos in the works that are, that aren't Caravan of Garbage as well. I've been trying to do more of that.
Ooh.
So yeah.
If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. Chuck in a buck, the proverbial buck, or whatever you can afford. Whatever you wouldn't miss is the key right
exactly.
there. But if you're a big spender, you go to bigsandwich.co, sign up for US $9 per month. You get bonus podcast movie commentaries, early videos, video game let's plays.
All that good stuff.
Ad-free podcast feed, everything you could ever want.
That's right,
So much stuff up there. 1 billion hours of it.
1 billion hours.
1 billion hours of it.
But the Flash commentary, obviously.
Also that's the
People
main
seem
thing.
to be enjoying
We've been building up to the Flash commentary, really.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what else. Thank you to the Boot and the Brute. Not the Boot.
Not the Boot.
Thank you to your old Boot.
You're not wrong.
Wait, are you the old Boot?
I think I'm the Boot.
You're the old Boot. Well, thank you, old Boot.
That's nice of you to say.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes. You want a t-shirt, you go to tpublic.com, you search for The Weekly Planet. You want a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Or other stuff? Maybe a pillow. Get a pillow with our faces on.
Get a pillow with our face on it.
I think you probably get a pillow.
Yeah, that's right. Let your dog sleep on it.
That's right. Next week, something? When's the creator
Blue Beetle?
out? Might be Blue Beetle.
I think we're Blue Beetling.
Okay. Great. Love that. Love that for us.
Guess we should see it.
I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Me too. I want to see how he defeats Red Blue Beetle. Probably by building big guns and out of his
family.
coop. Yeah.
So he's like, he can't do it, but then he remembers his family.
That's
and
right.
he does it. Yeah. It's going to be good.
I like that.
Or fine.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
We could just cut and paste what you've said there
That's
and
right.
take the week off.
Take the week off, yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.